Hey guys, Speed here, and today we're going to be going over some advanced mid mechanics that you can use and imply in your games to win mid. Now before we hop into the main content of this video, I just want to let you guys know that you can check out guides just like this one, made by top tier pros, and have over thousands of different options over at GameLeap.com. Now, let's get into the main video. So the first tip we're going to be going over is how to actually check for mid wards. So if you pay attention to the co-op here, you're going to notice that as she walks by the tower where I'm picking here, the tower won't hit her. However, if I place a ward here and blink away, she'll get hit, right? She'll continue to get hit. So the co-op can know then that there's a ward here. Basically, if you're a mid laner, I'll do a demonstration just for second purposes. You can walk over here and stand right here, and if you get hit, you know there's a ward. If you don't get hit, there's no ward. Alright, next up is creep aggro. Now, you'll see here that if I right click on the co-op and walk backwards, the enemy melee creep will walk towards me. I can do it again. It will walk towards you. And why is this important? Because in many situations, especially for a low damage hero, you want to pull the enemy creeps away from them, away from the enemy mid laner, so that you can secure the CS in difficult positions. Often, if you're in a matchup where you do a lot less damage, you want to use this trick to drag creeps away. You'll notice now I get a free CS, and that's one great way, especially for a hero like SF, to secure early souls and early CS.
As you probably already know, the creeps will aggro if they have vision of the target trying to initiate an attack move on you, and they will go to the enemy as a result. So you can abuse this knowledge to be able to test whether the enemy has a ward in their territory or not.
So here you're going to notice I don't have vision of the co-op, so there's no way for me to actually aggro any creeps. I could aggro the range creep, or here I can try to aggro the melee creeps. There's no way, but if I place down a ward, I can see the co-op, right? And then that means I can use creep aggro, even from the low ground, right? So if the co-op sees me doing this, she will immediately know, or should immediately know, that I have a ward down. And that's another way in which you can cheekily spot out a ward from the enemy mid laner. Basically, to sum it up simply, if they use creep aggro while on low ground, especially during something like the nighttime, you should know that they have a ward. Next, Yamson's going to buy back into the game. But after he buys back into the game, we're going to be going over the importance of a rune ward. Now in a lot of matchups mid, you're going to be buying a bottle, but more importantly, you're going to want to control the runes so that you can have these odd power spikes that can even win you losing lanes. For instance, here we see a DD. This is a great example because double damage is probably the best rune to get in the early stages of the laning stage, and one simple rune ward can make a lane where I'm losing to a co-op and I'm down on CS to even or even ahead for me. Right, so it might typically be hard for me to get a CS there, but in these situations, it's a lot easier. In addition, rune wards provide not only vision of the rune, but also vision of potential ganks. So having it and requesting it from your supports is a great way to get a slight edge or even a large edge if you get the right rune for the mid lane.
Following up from that, we'll be highlighting the importance of using spells to secure CS and harass enemies in lane. In a matchup such as Queen of Pain versus Shadow Fiend, the most important thing you can do is get as many last hits and denies as you want. In order to zone the other hero from being able to successfully get these last hits or denies, you need to use your spells effectively to make sure that you can not only get last hits with them, but also kill the enemy, or at least harass him. So you'll see here, I can right click the SF and Scream of Pain without being able to lose the CS, and making a scenario where it's impossible for him to get the last hit. And if he tries to trade with me, he'll just lose the trade because there'll be less creeps. This concept is applicable in almost every mid matchup, and overall, like, personally, I think one of the most important things to do in like every mid matchup is to be able to just trade your mana effectively. So another important tip in mid lane matchups is to always be ferrying regen out before you need it, because it might be too late when you need it, and as a result you might miss a creep wave or a rune or get ganked easily. All these things can apply. So you can see here how the Queen of Pain, or me in this case, has ferried out a salve instantly, while the Shadow Fiend does not have one. As a result, this is obviously for simulation purposes, but if I harass him properly, and he now has to wait for his salve to be ferried out, the Shadow Fiend will inevitably miss an entire creep wave, because if he tries to go for last hits or denies, I will kill him. doesn't want that to happen.
So as you see, if this is a real matchup and I'm at 200 HP and the cup is full, I basically can't approach the wave at all. It's just crucial that you have salves at all times, even in real matchups. This is something you see in 1v1s, where people do it like way out of proportion, simply because it's effective in 1v1s. However, in a real game, you always want to make sure, especially after the bounty runes, that you have a salve. I've seen so many people, especially coaching students, that for some reason, with their 110 gold, they just wait for their Wraith Band, or they wait for a bottle. I don't think people truly understand that an early salve can win you the lane. If the enemy doesn't have one and you do, you immediately have the innate ability to apply pressure, even in hard lanes, even in lanes in which you should lose. You can actually win, simply because you have more regen than them. Alright, thank you guys for watching this guide on mid tips. Hopefully this really helped some of you mid players. I know there's a lot of you out there, so we wanted to make this sort of in-depth guide on a lot of tips that I think you guys might not have known. So if you did know all of them, definitely let me know in the comments below. But also, if you think there's anything we're missing, or something very important about any of the tips that we did give that we forgot, please let us know. Hey guys, before I leave you, I just want to remind you that over at GameLeap.com, you can check out guides just like this one, made by top tier pros. It will help you gain MMR faster, it will help you learn the game much more in depth, and overall, just increase the experience of your Dota gameplay, as you will crush your opponents simply by knowing more than them.